It's too obnoxious. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Runs on Pizza. I want to say thank you to everyone who recently has subscribed. I feel super popular right now. But thank you for just supporting this channel. Thank you for supporting my just overwhelming plate of passions and hobbies that are taking over my life right now. So a lot of y'all who are subscribed right now already know who I am, have met me in person, know that I'm really weird, it's fine. But a handful of y'all probably don't, and if you're watching this for the first time, and have never seen me before in your life, hi, I'm Veronica. But I wanted to take time today with this video to kind of just give y'all a background on how I got started running and just my athleticism background. Why I run, what got me into this sport. It's still so weird for me to call it a sport just because growing up I always thought soccer and basketball were sports. But running is a sport. It is hard. It takes training. It takes time. And you get medals, right? Because you get some medals in sports. Or is it just trophies? I don't know. See, that's already my knowledge, amount of knowledge that I have about sports. I have notes too, so I'm using my computer for notes. So if you see me glance down, it's chill. I just need help because I don't want to talk forever, which I already am right now, it's fine. So for me, my running story kind of starts when I was younger. I was never active as a child. I did not participate in sports really at all. I was more of an arts kid than a sports kid. Middle school, we had art club, and our art club would meet during recess. So I willingly skipped recess to go and sew a pillowcase and make decorative lamps out of Pringles cans. So that shows you where my priorities were as a child. The most athletic thing I think I did in elementary/middle school was join a dance company. I only joined these dance classes because my best friend was also in these dance classes. She was significantly better than me. She went on to be colonel of her high school dance team, and I stopped it after 8th grade because I knew that I was not good at it. As you can see, my skills were subpar. But I liked it, it was fun. So junior year of high school, I joined the soccer team because it was our least popular sport, and I knew that because I was gonna be terrible at it, I wouldn't greatly affect our school's reputation. But I was in it long enough to get my letter for my Letterman jacket, and then I didn't show up to practices, I think. Yeah, I didn't show up to practices and got kicked off the team. So that was my stint in high school athletics. I think I played 2 games at the most. I had the uniform though, so I looked the part, but did not have the talent or the skill. So in college, I had a friend, Paige, and she would go to the rec a lot. And she would invite me, and sometimes I would go, sometimes I wouldn't go. But when I would go, they had an indoor track in our rec, and she would run around the track I don't even know how many times, but it was a lot. And I would just do the treadmill. I would walk on the treadmill, or I would do the elliptical while she ran. And I always thought it was cool. I always thought it was cool that she just willingly ran for fun, because she wasn't on a track team. She didn't run races. She just ran because she liked it. But I also thought to myself, I would never, ever get to that spot in life of just wanting to run for fun. I did set a goal for myself though. I felt inspired by her at one point in time. And I saw something on Pinterest. It was how to run 20 minutes without stopping. And it was a training plan. There was a legit training plan for how to run for 20 minutes without stopping. And I was like, yes, pin this. And I set a goal for myself to do that. And I think I lasted probably 2 weeks. So I did not end up being able to run for 20 minutes without stopping in college. It seemed impossible. After those 2 weeks, I was like, there's no way that I could do that. And I just gave up on it because there was nothing really motivating me. It was just, oh yeah, hey, that'd be cool to do. I think I gained around 30 pounds while I was in college. I didn't really notice it at first. I think I noticed it in pictures more so. So gaining weight in college really didn't affect me emotionally. I wasn't sad. I wasn't upset at the way I looked really at all. I knew that I should probably stop eating Panda Express as often as I did. And I did. I stopped eventually, but it just wasn't, there was no discipline. There was no, I guess, goal in mind. It was just kind of a thought that, like, yeah, I should probably not eat like this for the rest of my life, and I should probably do more physical activity. But I think the food part stuck better than the physical activity part. And there was always like a part of me that wanted to be sporty, obviously with the soccer stint in high school. But I just would see my cousins, and they were in basketball and soccer and cheerleading and all these different sports. And I always thought that was so cool. Like, I remember thinking, that would be cool to just be able to say that I can play soccer or play basketball. But I never pushed myself to even like try to learn it. And it was just always something in the back of my head of like, that would be cool. The phrase, "you can do hard things," it's been circling around, I think, the internet for a while now. So I first heard that phrase in summer of 2016 when I was working day camp at Sky Ranch, a Christian camp out in East Texas. So my job that summer involved setting up and tearing down these gigantic inflatables. Think of those bounce houses you would have at your birthday party, but bigger, and there's like 4 of them. And you would have to set them up every single day and tear them down every single day and load them into like a giant moving truck and then take them to a different site for the following day. It was a lot of physical work. And out of our leadership team, like out of the full-time staff team, I was the only female that was on like the work crew. All the other females that I worked with were site coordinators. So they were checking campers in, they were talking to parents, they were making sure everything was organized and set up, and I was the only one that was on the work crew with all the guys. And I just felt so inadequate. I felt so weak. These inflatables weighed hundreds of pounds, and I did not think that I was gonna make it through that summer. So it was me and one other guy that was on our team, and we had to set up all of those and tear them down. It was just, I felt so defeated. And so one day I went to my director, the day camp director, and asked her just like, why did you pick me for this job? Out of all the other jobs I could have done, why am I in this role? She said, I chose you because you can do hard things. And mental strength is so much bigger and more important than physical strength. Just with that one conversation with her, I believed in myself, and I was like, all right, if she believes that I can do this, then I need to believe that I can do this. And I made it through. I did the whole summer. Oh my goodness gracious, I never sweat so much in my entire life. But I felt so accomplished afterwards. So fast forward to December of 2016, me and my roommate Deanna were in downtown San Antonio cheering on 2 camp parents, Brad and Mindy, and their son Justin, as they ran the Rock and Roll Half Marathon. So this was the first race that I ever spectated, and honestly it changed my life. That sounds so dramatic, but it did. I remember waiting for them to run by and like finish that last stretch before they crossed the finish line. And as they were waiting, I'm just like seeing all of these different people finish this half marathon. It was people of different ages, of different sizes, couples running hand in hand, people who looked so exhausted but yet so accomplished. At the same time, I felt this desire to be on the other side of that rail, one of the faces of exhaustion and accomplishment, about to finish a half marathon. And I had never had that feeling before. Like I said, I had known so many people that have been runners, so many people that did sports, and never had this like strong desire to be in their shoes. But at this moment, I was like, I want that. And the words from my director, Kenley, came back to me, and it's like, you can do hard things. And I was like, well, poop. I have to do this now. Like, I proved to myself this last summer that I can do things that are hard, do things that seemed physically impossible for me to do because I thought I was weak or wasn't just capable enough. And this was one of those things. Running a half marathon, I never in my life dreamed I would ever want to do. And in that moment, I had that desire, and I was like, all right, I have to roll with this. I have to go with this. But I didn't tell anybody. I didn't want anyone else to know that I had this desire and I was gonna strive for this goal, because if I failed, I didn't want to disappoint them. I think the only person I told was Mindy, because I knew she wouldn't be disappointed in me. Honestly, nobody probably would have been disappointed in me if I failed at this and never ended up finishing a half marathon or being a runner. But I just felt like that insecurity in me of not, just wanting to keep it my secret, wanting to do this for myself and not for anybody else. So even at that point, I was doubting whether or not I would actually complete this goal, which is kind of sad, just to have this desire and this, like, see other people accomplish things and know that you can do it, but still doubting whether or not you would have enough motivation, enough discipline to actually follow through with it. But that changed on New Year's Eve of that year. One of my best friends lost his dad on New Year's Eve from a sudden brain aneurysm. And oh my goodness, that was rough. That just sucked a whole lot because it wasn't expected. And he was healthy and he was relatively young, and just one day in his sleep. So my heart completely broke for him and his mom and his siblings. I don't think anyone should ever have to go through that, but it is a part of life. And it's weird that, like, death has a way of motivating you. It has a way of, like, showing you, like, reminding you of your mortality, reminding you that you're not guaranteed every single day on this earth. And so you gotta make each day count. Like, if you want to do something, do it, because you aren't guaranteed tomorrow. So after that point, I was like, why am I just letting myself sit here and think of all these cool things that I could possibly accomplish? Why am I just not going out and doing it? Like, what is stopping me? Me. I'm the only one stopping myself. So why not spend whatever time left I have of this life doing things that I viewed previously as impossible? Like, it's honestly really fun and really addicting to prove yourself wrong. So on January 5th, I went on my first run. It was honestly just a lap around the camp that I worked at, Deer Creek Camp. And it was like, I think 0.8 miles, but it was still a run. And in April, I signed up for my first half marathon, and which happened to be the Walt Disney World Half Marathon. It didn't end up being the first half that I ran, but that's for a different video when I go into all of my races. But I think signing up for that half was just gonna lock it in for me. It was like, all right, I'm committing to doing this. Like in January, I committed to doing it mentally and just emotionally for myself. But when I signed up for that half, it was like, no, I'm gonna do this and it's gonna be a public thing. I can't hide the fact that I'm training for a half marathon. And yes, and that's where it all started. So my message to anyone that made it through to the end of this video is, don't underestimate your power and your capabilities. Don't just spend your life sitting there thinking, wouldn't that be cool? Go and do it, or at least just try to do it. There's no harm in trying. I guarantee you will grow from just even trying something that you thought was impossible. Remember, if I can do hard things, you can do hard things. So just go out there and prove yourself wrong. Thank y'all for watching this. Thank y'all for, again, subscribing and investing into my life and just listening to me talk. I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know how to end this video.